In this comprehensive video tutorial, we take you through the entire process of plastering a swimming pool wall using a traditional cement and sand mixture. Whether you're a professional tiler, a contractor, or a passionate DIYer, this guide is designed to help you achieve a smooth, durable, and water-resistant finish on your pool walls. Plastering a pool wall is a critical step in the construction or renovation of any swimming pool. Not only does it provide the structural base for tiles or paint, but it also plays a vital role in waterproofing, durability, and aesthetics. When done correctly, a cement sand plaster layer protects the underlying concrete or block wall from erosion, improves adhesion for finishing materials, and gives your pool a clean, professional look. Materials and tools you'll need. Before you begin the process, you need to gather the following materials and tools: Portland cement, fine river sand, clean and washed; clean water bonding agent, optional for improved adhesion; mixing containers or a concrete mixer; mason's trowel, steel float, wooden float, leveling; tools, brushes, buckets, protective gear, gloves, goggles, mask. Step-by-step process. Overview. Key. Surface preparation. The first and most important step is preparing the surface of the pool wall. Start by cleaning the wall thoroughly. Remove any loose debris, dust, oil, or algae using a stiff brush and water. If the surface has existing old plaster or paint, it should be chipped off. For concrete block walls, make sure all joints are properly filled and the surface is level. If the surface is smooth, consider roughening it with a chipping hammer or mechanical grinder to enhance the grip of the new plaster. Wet the surface slightly before applying the plaster to prevent premature drying. Mixing the plaster. The ideal mix ratio for pool wall plaster is typically 1 part cement to 3 to 4 parts sand by volume. Add clean water gradually while mixing to achieve a paste-like consistency that is easy to apply but not runny. If desired, you can add a waterproofing admixture or bonding agent as per the manufacturer's instructions. Mix thoroughly until the plaster is uniform in color and texture. If you're working in a hot climate, consider using cold water or mixing in the shade to prevent the plaster from setting too quickly. Applying the first coat, scratch coat. Using a mason's trowel, apply the first layer of plaster, known as the scratch coat, to the wall. This layer should be approximately 10 to 15 mm thick. Spread it evenly and press it firmly into the wall to ensure good bonding. After applying the first coat, use a comb or notched trowel to create horizontal scratches across the surface. These grooves will provide a mechanical key for the second coat to grip onto. Allow this coat to cure for at least 24 hours while keeping it moist to prevent cracking. Applying the second coat, brown coat or finish coat. Once the scratch coat is properly set and cured, proceed with the second coat. This coat also ranges from 10 to 15 mm in thickness, depending on the final finish desired. Use a steel float to apply the plaster in sweeping motions, filling in all grooves and low spots to create a smooth, even surface. Work in sections and maintain a consistent thickness across the entire wall. Use a level and straight edge to ensure the wall remains true and flat. If necessary, add more material to low areas and smooth it out. Final finishing. For a polished look, use a steel float to smooth out the surface after the plaster has begun to set slightly. For a more textured or rough finish, use a wooden float or sponge to create a subtle texture. If you're planning to install tiles over the plastered surface, ensure that the finish is level and clean, but not polished, as tiles adhere better to a slightly rough surface. For painted pools, a smoother finish is preferable. Curing the plaster. Curing is one of the most crucial steps. Keep the plaster moist for at least 7 days by spraying it with water multiple times a day. This slow curing process helps increase the strength of the plaster and prevents shrinkage cracks. Avoid exposing the fresh plaster to direct sunlight or wind during the initial days. Inspection and surface readiness. After curing, inspect the plastered wall for any imperfections. Fill any small cracks or holes with a patching mix made of the same cement-sand ratio. Make sure the wall is completely dry before applying any finishes like waterproof paint, epoxy, or ceramic tile adhesive. Tips for a professional finish. Work early in the morning or late afternoon to avoid direct sun. Never apply plaster to dry or dusty surfaces. Always use clean water and materials. If using a bonding agent, apply it evenly and allow it to become tacky before plastering. Wear safety equipment to protect against dust and cement burns. Why use cement and sand plaster? This traditional method has been used for decades due to its affordability, availability, and effectiveness. A cement-sand mixture creates a robust and flexible layer that can withstand the dynamic conditions inside a pool, including water pressure, chemical exposure, and temperature fluctuations. Applications. Beyond pools, the techniques shown in this video can also be applied to other water-retaining structures like fountains, tanks, ponds, and spas. Mastering this skill opens up many opportunities in the construction and renovation field. Conclusion. Plastering a pool wall with cement and sand might seem like a simple task, but it requires precision, timing, and attention to detail. By following the steps outlined in this video, you'll be able to achieve a professional quality finish that not only looks great, but also lasts for years. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials on pool construction, tiling, waterproofing, and professional finishing techniques. If you have any questions or want to share your own tips, feel free to leave a comment below. Part 2. Advanced techniques, common mistakes, and professional tips for plastering pool walls with cement and sand. Once you've mastered the basic process of plastering a pool wall using cement and sand, it's time to explore deeper techniques that separate beginner work from expert craftsmanship. In this extended section, we'll walk you through more nuanced elements, including mix optimization, environmental considerations, mistake prevention, and advanced finishing. Optimizing your cement-sand mix. While the basic 1.3 or 1.4 ratio is effective for most applications, achieving the perfect mix sometimes requires adjustments based on your climate, application method, and wall condition. Here are a few professional considerations. For hot climates, use slightly more sand and less cement to slow the curing rate and prevent rapid moisture loss. Add a small percentage of lime to improve workability and reduce cracking. For cold climates, ensure the mix is richer in cement to speed up strength gain. Avoid working below 5 degrees, 41 degrees, to prevent freezing damage. Add mixtures. You can include waterproofing agents, fibers for crack resistance, and retarders to control setting time. Sieve the sand. For best results, always sieve the sand to remove large particles that could cause roughness or air pockets. Mastering the application techniques. Applying the cement plaster may look straightforward, but certain techniques improve both durability and appearance. Back buttering. When working on uneven walls, back butter the trowel to press the mix firmly into cracks or gaps. Double coat method. In high moisture areas, apply 2 finish coats instead of 1, cross-layered for strength and water resistance. Feathering. For transitions between thick and thin areas, use feathering strokes to blend the edges, avoiding sudden thickness changes that may crack later. Curing in depth. Curing is often rushed or neglected, but it's just as important as applying the plaster. Cure for strength. Poorly cured plaster is weaker and more prone to cracks. Aim for 7 to 14 days of continuous moisture retention. Best practices: use burlap or plastic sheets to retain moisture. Alternatively, spray a curing compound if constant water is impractical. Watch for efflorescence. If white powdery deposits appear after curing, wash them gently with diluted vinegar or use an efflorescence remover. Common mistakes to avoid: poor surface prep. Plaster won't adhere properly to dusty or greasy surfaces. Too much water. Overwatering weakens the mix and can cause shrinkage. Cracks. Plastering on dry walls. Always dampen the wall before applying the mix to avoid water being sucked too quickly from the plaster. Delaying second coat. Too long. If you wait too long between coats, they won't bond properly. Skipping curing. This is the #1 cause of premature plaster failure. Advanced finishes and textures. Depending on your project's design, you can create various textures with the final plaster layer. Smooth finish. Achieved using a steel trowel and multiple passes. Ideal for painted pools. Textured finish. Use a sponge float or broom for a decorative non-slip surface. Exposed aggregate. Add crushed stone to the top layer and brush off the surface to expose decorative textures, usually for artistic pools or spas. Waterproofing considerations. While the cement sandplaster creates a solid base, it is not inherently waterproof. Consider these steps for added protection. Add waterproofers. Integral waterproofing admixtures can be added to the mix. Surface coatings. Apply cementitious waterproof coatings like crystalline compounds after curing. Flexible membranes. For extreme waterproofing needs, install flexible membrane layers over the cured plaster before tiling. Preparation for tile or paint application. After plastering and curing, your pool wall is ready for its final finish, either paint or tile. 4. Tile. Preparation for tile or paint application continued. For tile, before tiling, ensure that the plaster surface is completely cured, level, and free of dust or contaminants. Use a bonding agent or a thin layer of tile adhesive to promote strong adhesion. Check for any hollows or weak spots in the plaster using a tapping method. These areas should be repaired before tiling begins. If the tiles are large format, ensure the substrate is perfectly flat to prevent lippage. Always use a waterproof adhesive designed for submerged applications. For paint, if you're painting the pool rather than tiling it, allow at least 28 days of full curing for the plaster. This ensures that the surface has released enough moisture and alkalinity, which could otherwise interfere with paint adhesion. After curing, acid wash the plaster surface using a mild muriatic acid solution, usually 1 part acid to 3 parts water, to open up the pores and remove surface latents. Rinse thoroughly, neutralize with a baking soda solution, and let the surface dry completely. Choose an epoxy or chlorinated rubber-based pool paint for best performance and longevity. Transition to Part 3. Final touches, maintenance, and longevity. Strategies. Once the plaster has been applied, cured, and finished with tile or paint, your work isn't over yet. In Part 3, we'll cover techniques for polishing and cleaning the finished surface, how to fill and balance water chemistry after plastering, seasonal maintenance for different climates, long-term care tips to prevent delamination, algae, and staining when, and how to replaster or renovate aging pool surfaces. Let me know if you'd like Part 3 written out as well. Preparation for tile or paint application continued. For tile, before tiling, ensure that the plaster surface is completely cured, level, and free of dust or contaminants. Use a bonding agent or a thin layer of tile adhesive to promote strong adhesion. Check for any hollows or weak spots in the plaster using a tapping method. These areas should be repaired before tiling begins. If the tiles are large format, ensure the substrate is perfectly flat to prevent lippage.